there's a point where Tikev starts to stagger around, right, out of control of his body movements and is tottering around on his legs. And then he'll fall down. And the one thing that will happen is that the bags of sands will break open, and this sand flows out of them. It's not moving like it's not animate. It's not, creeping out. It's just gravity when the fabric splits and the sands just kind of flow out like fine sand would do. And At that point is when everybody is going to feel this effect of all of these spirits, a horde of spirits attacks everyone. And I need to get to the miracles that will tell us about this, which is right here. Spirit Call. Oh, goodness. Shall I roll separately or just once for everybody?
Whatever.
I feel like individually is
Individually means it means I
Yeah.
love you individually, right? It's
yeah.
right.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly that.
I think this is a good time to say oops.
Shouldn't be so hard to be finding all these. There you are. The battering and bruising of the spirits upon Farith is going to be 25 life points battering down upon you, of fists, of war spears, and other ghostly injuries. And much of it is much worse than that. Certainly enough to kill you several times over. It's just that most of it is insubstantial.
Yeah.
So it is if the air of this entire region is full of a horde of angry ghosts.
No, I get it.
Mm-hmm. Only 16 points for Athasha, much to my irritation. Rolled quite low. But it may be that we can retcon a little bit, that the spirits are actually not very effective against her specifically. That actually would make sense.
Yeah.
So then upon Vefselk, although actually I'm going to give you a chance to escape because you were already on your way out. And as I recall, there was some kind of roll, not for this spell or not for this miracle absolutely specifically, but there are mechanisms for getting out of the way of some kind of there are spells and things that permit an escape roll. I'll have to double check to I don't know if I feel like looking it up in detail, but you know what? No, this is going to be more fate. Roll your fate as a percentage, not your agility or dexterity. Okay. Right. This is purely a lucky ass saving roll because you were in a position where you might be lucky.
Right. I got a 73, so
failed.
I don't know if that's very lucky.
Okay.
Yeah, 73.
I see. Okay. Well, in that case, oh man. Only 15 life points. Man, this is 40-10.
Okay.
I am not pleased.
Shit. The spirits really like me for
Yeah.
some reason.
Right.
You can't imagine how pleased I am.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so all of you are battered, and the various dusters, clutch their heads and go down, or run arounds, and the words of Tikeft are, they are here, the spirits that of the people who were. They are here.
I guess we don't
They have
have
brought them.
a very
They
good-
are, they are here. So
We do
these
get
are
the impression it's the tribal humans
Yeah.
spirits.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
ancestral spirits, which means that somehow or another, some descendant of theirs must be involved. So Ethasha is the only one who would realize that. Somebody in this situation, maybe not this location, but somehow tribal humans' descendants are still here. And you have awakened that connection somehow.
I kind of have an idea, but I'll save it for later.
So I think that's probably a good place to close.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm feeling like
Yes. You just keep those life points missing, because when we
I
start,
just have
when we start, you're not getting those back. Right.
No.
Yeah, sure.
I have
Lorenzo.
just a couple of questions that I wanted to ask before the session.
Oh,
Well,
sure.
one, if Ron, you can write down the names of the people in the
Yeah, we
session.
need
Yes,
we need a
please.
cast list, because I keep looking it up and I keep mispronouncing
Yeah.
some of them too, and it's also getting
That
pretty.
would be-
It's getting pretty populated these days. All of a sudden.
Yes.
So
yes.
yeah.
It will be nice to have them.
Right.
And
You thought
the
that
second thing is
Listas and Crixos added complications to your lives.
no, but those are very easy. It's the duster names that are
Right.
kind of
Right.
Ron, we might have to look at the idea of whether ancestral spirits can fight each other,
Yes.
amongst other things.
Yes. That is. I agree. There may be some rules, interpretations, or nuances.
Because
Yeah.
I assume I have to make a decision next time we start.
I also have one other thing to ask. Is that I think I wanted to ask the other time, but got so excited that I forgot. And now also.
Well, I was
But
going to
I'm
say, wait,
wondering-
does that mean you're not excited this time? Bummer.
No. I was going to ask it this time, and I forgot it again. But every time we say a day has passed, I'm like, okay, I still have my life points down from.
Oh,
the
yeah, we
other
should be
fight a few
calculating.
days ago.
Yeah, we should be calculating that, shouldn't we? Let's go back through the rules and figure it out.
Okay,
Right.
perfect.
The game
I will-
takes recovery rates and travel and things really seriously. And
Yeah, but I think
I have been
I
a
don't
bad
think it's going to be
adventure
significant.
guide, and in this case, it's
Oh,
significant,
I'm
so we need
taking
to
care
figure
of
it out.
myself.
Yeah,
I
have
don't think
to.
the recovery, if I remember the rules, it's not going to be significant, the
Right.
recovery, but looking at my life points right now, and if it helps, so I'm going to go look for
Right.
that.
Yes.
And the last thing is that if I can finish being the annoying guy, is that I think we missed an XP for the last session,
You
and
did.
I lost count completely.
Right.
So I would like anybody else to give me the number.
Sure.
Because I'm
I will
kind
look.
of-
I did not calculate it. You're right.
Would
I
be
need to
nice
get
to
that.
roll out some more life points at least.
Right. Right.
I don't know if we are at a level already. It's possible we weren't too
the
far.
number you went up to 7th level, but the number that it takes to get to the next level is actually increased. So I think from
Okay.
6th to 7th was the last increment of 1,000,
Mhm.
and from now on, then it's 3,000 for the next ones.
Yeah.
Now, the
So it
trouble
will-
is that most of the experience point rewards, in fact, all of them, are treated as multiples of your level. So, for example, if you avoid a fight, then you get 300 experience points times your level. So why do you have that multiplier in there at the same time as then you increase the points that you need per level? Why not remove
maybe there
both
is such
sides?
a complicated.
Yeah, why not just remove both sides of that equation and just have the same amount to go up every time and the same reward system every time, especially because there's no multiplier to experience points in terms of the threat or the money or anything like that.
Mhm.
So you can't get like more experience points for doing this to this monster versus that monster. So really, you could just keep the amount of points you need per level to stay exactly the same and leave the level multiplier out of it. So for some reason,
Yeah.
they just really liked the idea that you needed more each time,
Yeah,
right?
It looks more impressive.
I know, but that's it. There's no mathematical. I mean,
it really looks a lot like certain other books did it. I feel
exactly,
it's the
exactly. D&D
best
does it.
explanation.
We have to do it that way, right?
Yes,
exactly.
I think that's the best
Yeah.
explanation.
So it's an interesting with a game that's otherwise mathematically so precise. These particular kind of arbitrary things, and like the calculating how you get your successful attack is way too complicated for the simple math that it really is. So there's certain things in there, and you're like, those are sort of, they look non-accidental, right? Because they stick out
the
like that.
attack roll is
Right.
something very much like the way taco worked. If
Right.
you read into it, so it's,
Right.
I guess.
So
Okay,
all right.
that's all I had to ask. And this was very exciting.
Well, I hope so. It wasn't too talky. And
I'm
boring,
really
I hope.
pleased with
No?
yeah.
I
It was
confess
very
I,
exciting.
I confess I really like my characters, and I think it was time to bring it back to Sasiva. We need to bring the whole thing back to
Yes.
Sasiva. That's what the rest of our
I
story
think
is.
that-
Sasiva's story. That's how it works. Is the plan.
At some
So,
point,
yeah.
while during play, I was thinking of some of the Let's Plays I've seen this week. I've seen a lot of videos on the website this week because I had,
Well, I appreciate
I was
that.
I was writing
Lorenzo,
great.
you could be watching porn. I
I
mean, why are you watching? What's your priorities? You know, I don't understand.
Very honest. Yeah, I know. But I'm very honest. I think I'm really grateful for the Mountain Witch videos because I was writing my stuff, and there was some stuff there that was like, a thunderstrike, like, oh, I can take away this, and that because I'm seeing it in play, and I was concerning myself with stupid stuff. It just works that way. So I was very, very happy with those videos. But while we were playing tonight, I was saying, okay, tonight, what we're doing tonight has a very different feel.
It is.
And,
The system really is different, and play is different. It's
and invokes some kind of character interactions tonight are kind of, I think I can think of a few people, allow me to be political for a second, a few story gamers that would go like, this is not really, what we do in our things, but I think this type of character interaction are really interesting.
I like to think of systems as having hard, soft, and empty points.
Mm-hmm.
And there is no specific way that role-playing works best if this is hard, this is soft, and this is empty.
Yeah.
So you have to just understand what all those different pieces are and how this particular game is going to configure its working parts. And then what is empty is different for this game than it is for another game.
Yeah.
Right? But that's what we do. We are using this instrument, and so it's going to sound different, it's going to feel different, it's going to work differently. And I really have been trying to get these points across, and I realized the only way to do it in this endeavor of Adepts Play, the only way it's going to work is to enjoy it together and watch each other.
Yeah.
And that's why I have been only a little bit formal with my curriculum, just a little bit formal with the labs and, the focusing on specific games over and over. That's all on purpose, but that's as formal as I'm going to get. Because I need people who have intuitively started to quit repeating bullshit that they have been reading all their lives and start working off what they know to be true through their experiences and their observations among us. We have to do that. I'm tired of trying to convince people that play can be like this too. Or if we tweak it around the other way, then the empty spot of the system is over here. And we can contrast the relatively... think just of other things too. Think of how we got into this out of a fierce sense of bodily identification with these semi-humans. All of us, all five of us have got into this with this really body sense of who these characters are, what it feels like to move in their bodies and to change shape and things like that. And think how different it is. It's okay to do that. The consequences of play are a certain way because of it. The things that we bring in for descriptions, the choices you make about characters are different than another game where that's not a feature. And it's okay for it not to be a feature. It has other ways of clicking in, So it's these... You can't explain that out of nothing.
No, really not.
Right.
I can't even explain it to myself, but I don't know about Sam, but this interaction between Farid and this human, I was halfway to becoming a snake.
Right.
I wasn't even consciously thinking of it. It was more like, no.
To the credit of the system, I was constantly looking at my sheet. And
That's right. You were like, what can I do? What can I do?
I was looking at my wall climbing skill all of the time. And I don't know why I gravitated there. And then I was thinking, but these people go Drake. It's so full of limitations in what you can... It's so specific in what you can do that it has a very strong footprint. And I like that.
Oh, I agree.
Now,
the worst
the
worst role-playing system is the one where you can do anything, just say it.
Yeah, precisely.
That's the worst, right? The worst resolution system is, we'll just talk it through as we go, and whatever's best for the story or whatever, we'll just do it. We'll just say it's crap.
We have had
no, it's crap. No one ever made enjoyable fiction that way, ever.
No.
Right. So anyway, there's a lot more to talk about it, but I'm really enjoying playing with you. I agree that this game is not going to go on forever or even that much longer, but I'm willing to play it through logically from where we are each session, during this time as we move into that final phase or zone of play. So that's
really.
We'll know when we are there.
That's right. I agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
Tonight I felt
Take care.
like good night. Good night.